It is time to discipline your mind. There are two things that you are doing. Usually you're doing one or the other that is holding you back. It is holding you back in your business. It's holding you back in your relationships, and it is holding you back in your personal life. Your mindset is going to change once you understand how this works, once you start to recognize it. The two things are either self-denigration or self-adulation. Now, let me explain what each of those are. Self-denigration is when you put yourself down. It's when you make yourself less than you think other people are. You might say things like, I'm never enough. I'm too blank. You fill in the blank. I'm too fat. I'm too ornery. I'm too subservient. Whatever it is. I'm too aggressive. It's always something that you're doing wrong. And you're saying, I should. I shouldn't. You're saying things like, I'm bad, or what's wrong with me? Always, it's something you're putting yourself down. Well, with self-adulation, it's the opposite. You are thinking that you're better than someone else. And what's interesting is they're both about comparison. So listen to what it sounds like with self-adulation. That's not fair. I shouldn't have to do this. I'm an exception to the rule. My situation is different. I can text and drive because I can do it so quickly. There's always something that there's a reason you think that you are better than other people. Now, do you notice? They're both comparison. The self-denigrator compares themselves to other people, and then they're always on the bad side of it. A self-adulator compares themselves to other people, and they're always better. Now, we've talked before about how to measure your success. And the problem with the way we measure our success is that we measure our success forward. We look at where we want to be, and we see where we are, and we see the difference, and then we think, I'm not enough. But what happens is a self-adulator, it's not that they are looking back at where they've come from, and now they see where they are, and they go, oh, okay, I've made this great progress. What they're doing is they're comparing themselves to the way they think everyone else is. They put other people in a negative light, and they compare themselves to that, and they say, oh, see, I'm better. Oh, yeah, I understand it better, and that's why I can do this. This is why I can talk to my family this way, because I understand psychology, or I understand this. And so in a relationship, you think that you can get away with things and that other people can't do. I want you to think about which one you are. You probably already identified. I am a self-adulator. I am someone who thinks, well, I shouldn't have to do that. Well, why didn't my employee do that? Why didn't that get taken care of? That should have gotten taken care of, because somehow I am worthy of that should happen. Now, the interesting thing is a self-adulator doesn't actually think they're better than other people. It might come across that way. But what happens is a self-denigrator and a self-adulator are both comparing themselves to other people, and both of it stems from I'm not enough. Now, when I first learned about this, I did not believe that. I thought, no, that is not true, because I have so much confidence. I absolutely know that I can be successful at whatever I want to be successful at. I have a positive attitude. I've been working on all these mindset mastery things that help me to grow and be successful in my business, be more successful in my relationships. But when I learned this concept, I realized, oh my goodness, I am totally a self-adulator, and I do it because I feel like I'm not enough. And what it comes from is you're afraid. For example, for me, I'm afraid that maybe I won't look a certain way. I want to make sure that I look professional in my business. I want people to think that I am smart enough to teach them. And so those are things that are happening in my head that I don't even realize, because I have so much confidence and I'm positive and I know I can do it. But what happens is the minute you catch yourself thinking, for self-adulators out there, the minute you catch yourself thinking, oh, I shouldn't have to do that, or that's not fair, the minute you think that, you are self-adulating. So just because you normally are a self-denigrator doesn't mean you don't ever self-adulate. You're going to adulate sometimes, but you'll find that you are more prone to one or the other. I am more prone to the adulation. So if you're a denigrator and anytime you catch yourself thinking, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't, I'm not enough, or I'm bad, I'm too, whatever. If you say I always this, or I never that, that's the self-denigrator. Now, one thing I want you to realize about this is This is not a self-adulator is more confident, and that's actually better than a self-denigrator, because what our world tells us is that a self-denigrator is someone who doesn't think they're good enough, and that's not as good as someone who is a self-adulator. Like, it's better to start out as an adulator because at least you have self-confidence. No, they're actually, one is not worse than the other. They are both equally unhealthy. Because what's happening is you are comparing yourself in an unhealthy way that isn't really the truth. So as you look at the situation, you're in total distortion. You are not recognizing what's actually real. So you handle that situation. You're making decisions based on what you're telling yourself. I shouldn't have to do that. And now I go make decisions in my business about how I shouldn't have to do that. One of the things I used to think is, I've worked so hard. I do all my videos and my social media. And for the longest time, I was so in demand and I wanted to help people. And so I thought I shouldn't have to edit my videos. I shouldn't have to do these certain things because I can afford to hire someone else to do it. And so if someone else would edit the video and there were things that that little magic was missing that I thought, oh no, I don't like the way that part was edited, or that takes away the magic of what I was trying to say, then I would feel like it was the editor's fault. I've trained them. I've told them they should know. No, actually, there's a reason that I am the person in front of the camera doing YouTube and my editor is the person who's editing. It's because I understand what I want to say to my audience. I'm the creative who's connecting with you. The editor is the creative who is creating the magic of the edit. But if I don't take responsibility for the things that I need in my edits, and I make sure, they may not have the vision that I have. I might think just because I've told them a few things that now they should know. But that's the adulator. Now, how is it stopping you in your relationships? How is it keeping you stuck? Because the minute you think in your relationship, oh, I'm bad, I'm not good enough, I never have dinner ready on time, I never make enough money, whatever it is that you're thinking, you've immediately compared yourself to the other person and you are less. You are less than. And when you are not equal in your heart and your mind and you don't know the truth that you are equal, all of a sudden you have unbalanced, that you've created an unhealthy imbalance, and you will not fix it. It will not resolve until you figure out that you really are equal. Now the adulator is doing the same thing, just on the other side. It's an unhealthy imbalance. You should have done this. You should have had dinner ready on time. Well, you should have made more money. That's why we're struggling, because you don't make enough money. So that's how it looks in a personal relationship. But what about in your mindset? In your mindset is what will decide for you whether you can succeed or whether you will not succeed. And if your mindset is saying, oh, I should have done this, that's why my YouTube channel isn't successful. You see what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, you're self-denigrating or you're adulating, and you've immediately created this imbalance. And now you will not see success until after you get unstuck, get out of that unhealthy imbalance, and get to where it's a healthy balance, and you stop self-adulating or you stop self-denigrating. And what does that look like? What is that called when you stop doing those things? It's called taking responsibility. Because as long as my editor should have, it's not my fault. It's not my responsibility. It's their problem. It's because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And as long as I'm a self-denigrator and I'm bad, or I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too lazy. As long as I'm that, guess what? I don't have control because I'm too lazy. I'm too fat. It's not, you kind of blame yourself and act like you're saying it's your fault, but really you're making it so you don't have to take responsibility. You're saying, well, this is what I am. I'm bad. And so there's nothing I can do about it. But you think that by not saying you don't say out loud, I can't change. You don't say that out loud. But that's what self-denigration is doing. And that's what self-adulation is doing. You are basically claiming, it's someone else's fault. I can't do anything about it. I don't have control because it's not really my fault. But when you start taking real responsibility and going, okay, I caught myself saying that's not fair. I caught myself thinking, I don't have to go in, like I don't have to go in the driveway for that store and go out this way because nobody's there, or I have some reason that that rule doesn't apply to me. That's what you're doing. So I want you to stop doing that. I want you to, if you're brave enough, in the comments, you can tell me what you are, whether you're a self-denigrator, self-adulator, and maybe some of the ways that it shows up. Because I'll tell you what, awareness and acknowledgement, dude, as soon as you do that, you start seeing some changes way easier. And because it's hard to acknowledge that. I want you to acknowledge it if you can. If you can do it in the comments, great. If you can't, just do it, in your mind and in your heart. And I want you to pick what you are going to do this week. For me, I know awareness is powerful. So I'm not going to try to change overnight, but I'm going to be really aware of when I am doing this. In fact, I noticed I did it today because I was in a class where we were learning some really important information, and someone in the class who was not the teacher kind of took over the conversation and kept talking and talking, and the teacher didn't take control of the class, and I found myself getting frustrated at both people and thinking, seriously? Like, it should not be this way. I came here to learn. I'm basically doing that self-adulation thing, and I didn't catch myself very fast. In fact, my husband said to me, we have on a sheet of paper some characteristics that we've been working on, and the one that I've been working on is patience. And he saw me, and I hadn't even made any comments or anything, but he's sitting beside me, and he said, so you're bugged, aren't you? And I'm like, what? How could you tell? Because I thought he said, I know you so well. And so then little sass mouth, he opens up my little book where we've been making the notes, and he pointed at the one about patience that said, I am patient with other people's faults and weaknesses. And I thought, and so I started laughing, and I thought, seriously, dang. So they're taking over the class, and I'm super impatient. So we all have things that we're working on, and I need to stop self-adulating. So mine today is going to be, this week, mine this week is going to be that I'm going to be aware of when I start doing it and try to stop myself quicker and quicker each time. So I might catch myself several minutes in or 5 minutes in, because I've been working on this for a while. I've known about this for a long time. So I've gotten a lot better at it. But today I was probably frustrated and kind of irritated for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. And usually I don't do that. So I'm thinking, okay, Teresa, I thought you'd conquered this a little bit better than you're acting. So now I'm going to do that. This week, I'm going to be aware and stop myself as fast as I can. I want you to work on yours, and I want you to notice what a difference it makes in your business, how well your business is succeeding. You'll notice a difference in a week. And I want you to notice what happens to your relationships. And I'll tell you what, relationships, they make you the most angry, because you'll catch yourself doing it and you'll think, well, I have every right. You'll feel justified in thinking that thought. But that is so unhealthy. And if you are at a point where you can't even admit that you are unhealthy and that is not okay, then you're in a dangerous place, because that means you're getting worse, not better. You've got to at least admit that you're doing it, even if it makes you mad. And start really paying attention and thinking, notice, how is that affecting my relationship? And notice what happens when you stop doing it. Because something changes inside your own head and your own heart. Your mindset changes. And without you even trying to fix someone else, your relationship starts to change. It is wonderful. Okay, so work on that mindset. Discipline your mind. And it is time to take on this challenge, or this invitation I'm giving you for this week. So good luck. You can do it, and I'm going to do it with you.